Hello, this is Wes Sego, and this is Visual Frameworks Term 1209, Project 1 Video Reflection. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the topic that I chose, um, any problems that I encountered with the project this week, things that I discovered that were easy, how this fits into my prior lessons, and how I feel like this will help in the future. First and foremost, my topic is a medication tracker, and I chose a medication tracker because a number of months ago, my wife and daughter were both sick, and my daughter was taking about 3 different medications, and my wife was sick. She wasn't feeling well, so of course she was taking medications, and I noticed that she was writing down, exactly what time she was giving the medication to the baby, and just looked like something that was a big hassle. So it would have been nice to have had an application that she could do that, keep track of it so that it would be a little bit easier. The application, in the interest of keeping it simple, this application is probably not, or it's definitely not exactly the way I would write this if I were going to deploy it, but obviously we'll have that option in the future to continue on, or if I do have time in this class, I'll kind of change it up a little bit, and I'll go into that in just a few minutes. But as far as problems that I encountered, I really didn't encounter any problems. HTML is probably the one thing in this whole course that I'm pretty comfortable with. I don't have a lot of experience with HTML5, and obviously there are quite a number of new tags that I don't have any experience with. And really the only thing that, I don't want to say it gave me trouble, but some of the newer tags to divide the code up, I didn't really have a good idea of how I should use those. Not really because I don't understand them. I completely understand them. It's just that at this point, without applying any style to it, I would really need to have looked ahead and kind of entertained how we're going to style the page before I decided how I wanted to use those tags. Which of course, I will certainly add those if the need arises as next week rolls in and we start to style this thing. So wouldn't really call it a problem, but it was something that crossed my mind. Things that were easier, like I said, I really was really comfortable with HTML. I don't really have a problem with it. I have a really good understanding of everything. So as far as how this fits into prior lessons, I think it's nice to actually be working on an application now, rather than telling stories like an SDI or things of that nature. It's kind of nice and exciting to be working towards actually creating an application that's going to work. And of course, how I feel like this will help me in the future. Obviously, this is our first endeavor into creating a working application, so I'm pretty excited about it. That's it. I'll give you a little demo. As far as my little medicine thing here, my add item page, it's about medication. So I'm going to have a text field here with the person that's using it, what their name is, the medication. My drop down box was whether the medication was an over the counter or prescription. The dosage amount later with the jQuery mobile library will go in, but this is going to be the size of the dose. And of course, for my radio buttons, I chose the frequency of the dosage. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I just used a date box thinking that, this will be the day that you start taking the medication. But I only did that in the interest of keeping it simple. I would prefer to have like a time that you take it and then a time that the next dose is due. But of course, in the interest of keeping it simple, that's the way I did it. So. But again, I have a notes page and a submit button, of course, down at the bottom. The 2 links for cleared stored data and display the data. So I hope everyone had a good week, and thanks for watching.